I'm Jeff Crawford, Nashville Shaman, and today I'd like to talk to you about numerology. So, to answer the question, what is numerology and how did it originate? As I experience it, numerology is the study of numbers, and more specifically, it's the study of patterns in those numbers. Numerology goes back since the beginning of time. We can see it in the Egyptian history, the Babylonian, Chinese history, Vedic tradition, Pythagorean. There's always a trace of people counting and discerning patterns and meanings from the numbers that they were seeing in the ways that they were seeing them. The Pythagorean numerology, views numbers as the building blocks of the universe, and recognizes that numbers have a resonance, a vibration, and it literally resonates, with the spheres, with the planets. It resonates with our own energy centers or chakras, and it also holds, significance with philosophy and with the practical matters of your daily life. Cabalistic numerology is more mystical, spiritual, if you will, and also looking at the patterns and discerning the more esoteric themes that are going in your life. And so with Western numerology, I myself combine a bit of both. I'm looking at both, and so I'm able to see the spiritual themes as well as the practical themes. And what I love about numerology is when somebody comes in and wants to know what's going on in the world, by looking at somebody's high-level numerology, I'm able to see what path they're on. I'm able to see the patterns that tell me, okay, this is where they are in this cycle of all these experiences that we as humans tend to experience, but we all experience them in a different progression, a different sequence. And so I can kind of see the roller coaster and how the roller coaster is operating. And I can see when whatever they're experiencing is the right experience, but is an undesirable experience. It's like a gravel road as opposed to a paved one. Sometimes you have to hit that gravel road before you hit the pavement. But if you don't hit the gravel road, you're not on the right path. That is the road. You have to be on it. You just may not enjoy that experience as much as the paved road, but they're both correct, right? And so in numerology, I can see what's not baggage and what's just the experience you're meant to be having and wrestling with and learning through, as opposed to what is baggage that you can actually focus on correcting. So you're not spending your time, making a problem out of the wrong thing. You're able to embrace the challenges as challenges that are going to be going out of your life just as the same way they came in, as opposed to the situations that you're actively causing and navigating yourself within those challenges. So in numerology, we can see the numbers as significant in an individual's life, because the numbers will indicate aspects of a person's personality, the influence that make up those aspects. It shows what lens they're observing life through. Are they observing it through passions? Are they observing it through depth of feeling, of spirituality? Are they observing it through the practical matters? Are they more logical? And that's how they're observing the world around them. It gives me a sense of where their priorities are. What's the primary lens through which they're observing and perceiving their world as they're navigating it. And then, of course, it shows me who they're compatible with, who they may be less compatible with, in relationships where those challenges are. When two people aren't on the same roller coaster, and are they likely to be able to make it work, or are they really in for some struggle to make it work? So there's a lot we can see about somebody just by the numbers in their personal numerology. So when I'm calculating somebody's numerology, I'm looking at several things. Now, I'm rolling out right now a service where I'm going to do a very detailed, several-page little mini book on people when they want a reading. But at a high level, I'm able to look at their date of birth, and I'm adding up the numbers of the date of birth as well as observing the numbers in the date of birth to get some lifetime themes. I'm able to look at that date of birth within the current 12-month cycle to see what that theme is within the lifetime theme, as well as the year cycle, the calendar year cycle, so then I've got another layer that's showing me another context. Then I can look at their names, and their names also give me an indication of, okay, at a soul level, these are the lenses they're looking through and perceiving as they're managing these themes. And then the numbers, of course, don't just stand alone. Nothing actually does. The numbers also have a correlation with the planets, with astrology. And so I'm looking at that correlation. I'm looking at the correlation with archetypes, and so then that gives me a whole nother, a bigger picture, to see all the intricacies of a person rather than just, sticking them in within one generic box. Something else I'd like to point out is that numerology, like many other disciplines like the tarot, for example, should be empowering. It should be enabling. It also is not intended to tell you your future. It is intended to show you what you are navigating so that you can then strategically co-create your future. You may not like the roller coaster you're on. You may not get to choose the experiences that you have in life as you are intended to have them, but you always have the capacity to choose how you're going to navigate that and what you're going to create from it. I believe I'm very passionate about numerology and the tarot and some of these other disciplines, astrology as well, because I have beat my own readings. When people have read me very accurately, I've taken that information and I have beat the odds. I have used that information to create what I desired. The key was I needed to know what I was working with to know that I could work with those energies. And so as a reader, as an intuitive, that's what I really love. That's where my focus is not in proclaiming your fate, but rather saying this is what you're working with, this is what you can do with it. And so that you leave your reading with some tools, with some things to work with an idea of what you want to create and how you might go about doing that. So if you have an interest in knowing more about numerology or working with me, perhaps having a reading with your own numerology, I'd love to work with you. You can visit my website at www.nashvilleshaman.com.